What's up, everybody? It's the Goal60 here, joined once again by Toby. We're going to do a little recap in this second week of college football. We're going to go over baseball as well. So we're covering the week of September 2nd through the September the 8th. And with that said, let's jump right into some baseball, Toby.
What a week, huh?
Yeah, that's right.
System, man. I love it.
Yep. So on Monday, we got started with the Nationals against the Mets. And this game did cash in the second day on the B bet. So what do you think about that?
Well, honestly, I think it's a testament to the system. I know we had some bad luck there at the beginning of it a little bit with the Yankees, and you kind of ask yourself, how in the world can the Yankees get swept with this many wins, right? But
No.
you just kind of move on forward, move on like you're supposed to. And at the beginning of the week, you started us off with a one single bet, and
Yep.
the eight bet didn't cash, which kind of made you wonder, where's this
Oh, yeah.
thing? But
Oh, yeah.
the fact that that Washington took care of it on that B bet, that B day, that just makes you just feel all warm and fuzzy.
That's
But
right.
as far as stats are concerned, Washington, they should be winning those games. They shouldn't lose be swept in any of these series this close
Right.
to the play. But
I
I think
agree.
that's great play, great way to start the week, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. After that, we followed it up with two series actually started up on Friday, but both of them did the same thing as Washington and forced us into the second day where we did cash yesterday on Saturday. And that was the St. Louis on one of them and also the Yankees on one.
Yep, yep. Those games were those started about around the 2 o'clock range, 1 or 2 o'clock. They're getting away from your 12 o'clock games on the Saturdays, and
Yeah.
like on Sunday they're not doing any more night games and stuff right now. So
Right.
the Yankee game felt great, man. They got the 4 runs in the fourth inning,
Yep.
with 9 hits. I congratulate those guys. I think they should keep on going. Try to hit 100 wins. I think that's
Yep.
what they're really trying to get. And the fact that they only got 3 runs on Friday, that was a shame. Actually,
Yeah.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
But I think honestly, man, that once they got to 5-1, it was over with. It was
Yeah.
over with. And that St. Louis game, I don't know if you want to know my opinion about that one, but that felt
Oh, yeah.
like a warm, cozy couch. I mean, you turn that thing off after the third inning, and you're good to go.
Yeah. 10-1 it finished up.
Yep.
And we actually had a chance at it on Friday. Got all the way to the seventh inning. We were up 4-1, and they just blew up. And they ended up giving up like 6 or 7 runs in that inning, and
Yeah.
just couldn't bounce back.
Yeah. And they're at home. So
Yeah,
St. Louis hates to lose at home. Like most teams,
absolutely.
that they weren't going to let that happen again to them on Saturday. So those two felt great. Get those behind us, call them good, and don't have to worry about a seabed, which makes Sundays feel pretty warm. I mean, pretty tight is what I meant to say. But
Right.
those
Yeah,
were
exactly. Especially like on a Sunday because like today I spent some time just relaxing and getting back from yesterday. But also I got to jump on college football. I went through, projected all my lines, everything. I'm ready to go. The lines come out Sunday evening, and there wasn't as much worrying about a baseball game cashing on
right,
third day. So it was
right.
nice to get those out of the way, since it did take us to a second game. Getting those knocked out, getting them out of the way was great. So put
Oh
a
yeah.
few more dollars in our pocket, cashed a few units, and got us moved on.
Well, I just want to add that it was actually Pittsburgh that was at home. So St. Louis,
Okay,
St. Louis was visiting, which is
that's right.
actually a tough win because Pittsburgh, either if they're not rained out, they like to win. But
Yep,
anyways, that doesn't matter. That was a great game. Like I
you're
said,
right.
good to get behind us. Well, let's talk about some college football, huh?
All right, let's do it. So college football. Michael and I made the video one day late this week. He had something going on Tuesday. We waited till Wednesday to do it. We put it out uploaded that night. Got it going Thursday morning. But Michael went 5-3 straight up. I went 2-3. Had a bad weekend, but otherwise, um, one thing I'd like to say about college football is I'm actually on my spreadsheets. Michael and I are keeping up with straight up bets. And we're also teasing in groups. So when we put them out on the video, a lot of times, like the first 2 weeks, he's had a 4-game teaser, and he calls that out on the video. But every game after that, we do them in order. So like the next 2 teams, we group those in a teaser and that kind of thing. We've actually done pretty well looking at everything. We're well in the positive right now, both of us. If you do them, cash them like that, and just for fun to keep up, see which one we do better with at the end of the year. But overall, straight up, like I said, he went 5-3. That put him at 12-6 on the season. I'm at 2-3, which put me at 5-6 on the season. First up, my picks, I had LSU and Texas. What do you think about that game?
Well, I'm a Texas boy. That was tough to watch after the first quarter. The first quarter was good, not too bad. But they just, man, I think what Michael said on the video, when LSU talks crap, they kind of back it up, and
they do.
Man, they put a lot of pressure on that quarterback, and
they did.
I've seen better, games. So honestly, they could have played better. I think they kind of let LSU walk on them a little bit. And if they were to get Matthew McConaughey off the sideline, they might have done
totally agree. Totally agree. In that first quarter, Texas had 2 opportunities inside first and goal opportunities and didn't get any points. And that comes, at first in the first quarter, you're sitting there thinking, okay, they can bounce back from that. They can do what they need to do. Well, if you look at the total game, losing by a touchdown, it would have been nice to at least get a field goal, to get something. How that would have changed the game later on, we'll never know. But it would have been nice to have that. And I was on one side of the game. Michael was on the other. I had the Longhorns at home plus 6.5, and I told you on the video, I wish that it was 7. I felt like it was going to hit 7 on Thursday or Friday, and then start getting some buyback. And it did touch it in some places, but not a lot. I wish it would have been across the board because I'd have definitely jumped on it again. But when LSU went for 2 there late in the game and got the 2 points, I thought then, well, there goes my cover, because that hook, that half a point really hurt, But if you had, of course, Michael was on the winning side of that. He had LSU minus 6.5. He wins by the hook. So it really shows you there. And I'm going to talk about at the end of the video is teasing and kind of what that can do for you in certain situations. In this situation, you could have middled that game because it hit right on top of the number.
Yeah. Truly, and a lot of it comes down to certain plays too, like that onside kick at the end. That could have gone either way, and that could have shifted.
Oh, it was close. Yeah,
that was just so. Some of those games like that. What are you supposed to think? Whenever you pick out your number, and at the end of the game, here's your number. Well, so many different factors could have manipulated that number either way, and it's just I don't know. I think it's pretty amazing how close you guys got. You know what I mean?
I appreciate that. The next game we'll talk about was a game that I was on 2 different ways. I had a side and a total, and that was in Cal and Washington. That game got pushed back, got delayed all the way to, I believe it was like 1 a.m. Central Time that they finally got going again. And Cal gets the win, gets the upset 20-19, but we missed the over just by a few points, and it would have been nice to see one last touchdown there at the end to try to, get us over that. But got the W on one part of it at least.
Yeah. They didn't do anything in the first quarter. I mean, there was 0 points in the first quarter. They needed a field goal.
Yeah.
I mean, something, and they just both came out flatter than hell. But for them to get that outright, that was a big upset.
Yeah, that was a big one.
Somebody would have picked that money line. That guy, either lucky or somewhere else.
It would have definitely been. I feel like that'd probably been luck. But I had, looking back at my number, I had Washington winning that game by 3.5 when I set my line. So I felt like it was way off. That tends to scare me sometimes. I didn't say that to brag. I said that because I sometimes skip on those games just because I'm like, well, heck, what am I missing?
Yeah,
What is it that, I've got 3.5 and Vegas has got 13.5 and we're 10 points different.
yeah,
And it worked out this time and I felt good about it and I went with it.
yeah.
But a lot of times I skip that because I'm thinking that I have missed out on something and a huge injury or something I'm
But
not hearing.
on a game like that, though, you put a star beside it and say,
Oh,
"I beat
absolutely.
Vegas on that day. That was the day."
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I was a good. Washington came out kind of flat in half as well.
They did.
They were 6 of 16 on third downs, so
Yeah.
they couldn't really finish it off. And Washington had also 2 turnovers, which didn't help Washington as well.
Yeah.
So all those factors come into play. California takes the outright.
That's
Just a
right.
good, just a good game.
My last play of that day was a teaser that I gave out, and a couple things from this game. The one, Nebraska, Colorado, man, we were well below we took the under and teased it up, and we were well within the spread for a long time. And then all of a sudden in the fourth quarter, they just both start scoring. And mostly done by Colorado, but they just both start scoring the ball. And I'm sitting there thinking, please don't go to overtime. Just get something to, I don't really, at this point, didn't care who won. Just get something on the board. Sure enough, they go to overtime. We get lucky, and they only scored 3 points in overtime, and we get the cover. The other side is USC. Listen, that quarterback for USC, I was kind of nervous about him. I heard a stat on Friday evening that his senior year of high school, which was last year, they went 3-7. So I'm sitting there thinking, oh my God, like what is this kid going to be like? He come out lights out. He ended up
Yeah,
like 28 or 33 for
yeah,
like
yeah.
400 yards.
85%.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, killed it.
you can't
Yeah,
expect him to do that though every time. But you know
no,
what? Keaton Slavis, is that his name?
yeah,
Slovis?
yeah,
Yeah, that
it,
was amazing. They almost got 500 yards of total offense,
yeah,
which is pretty good. But Stanford, they didn't have any points there on the second half either.
right,
So USC's defense, they kind of played a major factor,
right,
probably for USC's offensive confidence.
right.
So yeah, that's dude, 85%.
Yeah,
Jesus.
you can't do that overall. I mean, that's just tough. But I think, if I'm not mistaken, I heard this. I'm not 100% sure. I heard that Kurt Warner is his offensive coordinator in high school. So
Wow.
that speaks a lot
Okay.
about who was coaching him and
Yeah.
whatnot. A
Yeah.
game that we were both on, Michael and I both, was on Vanderbilt. Vandy +7. Looking back at now, there was a lot of things that we should have passed on. The fact that Vanderbilt against Georgia held them to 30 points, but you look at the stats, they gave up a ton of stats. They just bent and didn't break. This week against Purdue, they broke. They gave up a lot of points. Purdue was able to finish drives and bounce back from losing to Nevada. But, we felt good about it going in, and that's just more data points. It gives us more data points to where we know what these defenses and offenses are going to do.
Yeah. Yeah. Purdue, either they have an amazing wide receiver group or Vanderbilt's secondary just flat out failed.
Yeah,
500 plus yards passing. That
right. It
was
was a ton.
that's a ton, man. That's a good
Yeah,
wallop. So either they're going to wake up from it, or that's what they're going to be like all year. Uh,
that's right.
I mean, like you
Well,
say, though, these are good stat points.
it's good stat points, gets us built on the rest of the year.
Yeah.
Well, Toby, I'm gonna throw in some things before we end this video. We're getting close to the end.
All right.
A couple talking points I want to throw out there. One is, out of the first 2 weeks, teams that went straight up with losses and lost against the spread, 3 of them going in this week: Tennessee, UCLA, and Vanderbilt. We're going to see what those 3 teams can do. I'm trying to figure out something. I played with this a little bit last year on chasing those teams in a 3-game chase afterwards, simply because the line will be inflated towards the other side, and seeing what we can do with getting that bounce back. Also, want to really project this and talk about this point, hedging. If you get in a game, you can get that live line going and see about hedging a game if you're on one side. I think there's a lot of value there. Live betting teams and getting some value if your team's down early, whatnot, and seeing how teams are playing. we're going to talk about that a lot next week on the recap video that me and you are going to do, and I just want to kind of introduce that and get it on people's minds. But Toby, I really appreciate you jumping on this video with me. I love doing this weekly, and thank you. And let's do it again next week.
Let's go. Let's do this.
All right, buddy.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you.